Here's a really quick introduction to the ADS All-Sky Survey. Let's start by clicking on View in Aladdin and go into this 180-degree view of the sky, showing a heat map of all of the articles in ADS over all time, just as they are distributed on the sky. We're giving a static view here, but obviously the real program is quite interactive. Now we'll just zoom in to a particular region. In this particular case, we've chosen Ophiuchus, and we've left the settings on all and all years, so that this is all objects again over all years. Now if we toggle here on this Mellinger button, that gives us a nice view of the sky, and we can see the dark cloud complex in Ophiuchus. And then if I click the select tool here to add markers for all the sources in Sinbad, we can see those overlaid as little red squares on the Mellinger image. Next, if I go back and reselect the tab that says all, the heat map reappears in the background, and now we see the sources from Sinbad on top of the heat map. Now I just want to pan over a bit and recenter the image, leaving the rest of the display the same. But I really would prefer a grayscale image to the rainbow so that I could see the red display of sources a little bit better. And I can change that at the green highlighted stack where the cursor is now. Then I can change my view in the background to H2 regions. So now this grayscale map is showing just H2 regions, and I can select a subregion within that H2 region interesting box, which is shown by the green box. And when I let that green box go, I get this list here of all of the papers, actually the 200 most recent papers in ADS, written about objects within that green box. Or I could click on the Open Object list and get the list of objects that I had selected. But instead, if I clicked on the Open Papers in ADS, I would be taken here to ADS Labs, and I would see the whole list of papers. But now I can filter the papers using the features of ADS Labs using these facets here on the left. And in particular, I could do things like click Sinbad objects and see the individual objects on the sky. But let's just skip that for now. Let's go back here to the heat map view in Aladdin. And this time I've changed it based on what was in the list of papers to show me papers that mention infrared observations. You see this big peak here in Ophiuchus. Now, I'd rather see this in the Worldwide Telescope version for now because I want to try the transparency slider that's available in the Worldwide Telescope version of the ADS All-Sky Survey. So let's click on Open Worldwide Telescope version. And here we have a grayscale heat map by default. And the image that opens is the same display as in Aladdin. It just looks different because it's a Worldwide Telescope and it's grayscale. And the way that the slider is positioned here, it's all the way to infrared. But if I were to slide it over, I could see a WISE image rather than an image of article density in the background. And obviously in the real program, I can manipulate this at will and change the transparency and mix the two layers together. Now let's say that I was interested not in the dust that WISE was showing me, but instead in H2 regions. So H alpha here is a good way to see H2 regions. And we can see that there's all kinds of interesting stuff going on near Ophiuchus. And in particular, I can now mix together an X-ray article density with that H2 region view given by H alpha. And I can see that there are some regions where there seem to be X-ray sources shown by the white grayscale map associated with H alpha emission and H2 regions. So now I can turn on a show sources display just like in the Aladdin version, and I can choose an interesting one, like say, I don't know, that one over there, an interesting source. And if I actually select it, I'll get the same kind of pop-up that I did in Aladdin, where I can get plenty of information from Sinbad or ADS about that particular source. The ADS All-Sky Survey is a very big collaboration between people at NASA, Harvard, the Smithsonian, the Seamless Astronomy Group at the Harvard Smithsonian, Worldwide Telescope at Microsoft, Research, NYU, in particular astrometry.net and David Hogg, and the folks at CDS, in particular Thomas Bach.